Matt.
I'm Shane.
And if you like what you hear, make sure you hit that thumbs up button real hard. And make sure you subscribe to Comic Movie Marks.
And also click that little bell for all of the notifications.
Whee!
Always remember,
if Trailer Trash can do it,
anyone can do it.
Woo! Hello and welcome everyone to a Comic Movie Marks retro review.
And as you can tell, Matt is stoked to break this one down. We are going to be talking about Avengers Age of Ultron. I don't know.
Yay!
I felt like that should be like a wrestling pay-per-view or something like that. So I was trying to add some emphasis. That's the Age of Ultron.
Welcome everyone.
Yeah. So yeah, here we are talking about Age of Ultron. We are almost done with the retro reviews for the entire MCU, and then we can rank all these.
Thank God.
Glorious things. Yes. So here we are, getting ready to talk about it. So I guess if Matt doesn't have anything else, I'll go ahead and start with some of the fun statistics that we give. All right, perfect. So Avengers Age of Ultron box office numbers, if you were curious, domestically 459,000, foreign thousand. Well, yeah, of course, 459,000. $459 million. Foreign, it did 946 million for a worldwide total of $1.4 billion. How, I have no idea. The release date was May 1st of 2015. And
well, I know why.
Yeah.
Avengers.
Right, exactly. So just for comparison's sake, Avengers Age of Ultron, I actually thought did more than the first Avengers. I forgot. Apparently it did not. So it did 191 million opening weekend. And the gross, obviously domestically, 459 million, as we talked about. Marvel's The Avengers, the first one, $623 million domestically. So maybe the numbers that I'm looking at on Box Office Mojo just shows domestic, so maybe worldwide was flipped. I believe maybe it did more foreignly. Foreignly? Is that a word? Anywho.
Yeah, I think so. Chip, chip, cheerio.
Yeah, exactly. So
you're all a bunch of foreignly motherfuckers.
But I'm not going to pull up those. Oh, actually, hold on. If I just scroll down, worldwide. Actually,
wow,
no.
You read web pages like my boss. Yeah. Wait, there's more to the email?
Well, oh my gosh, yeah. So actually,
I just need to scroll down.
I stand corrected. Age of Ultron, the 1.4 million was behind the first Avengers at 1.5. Oh, sorry, fuck, I keep saying million. 1.4 billion was behind Avengers $1.5 billion. So Black Panther actually still trails both of those worldwide. However, domestically, 668 million leads the pack for all MCU movies. So there's those interesting stats for you. And if you gave a shit, Avengers Age of Ultron, 75% on Rotten Tomatoes. Found that a little surprising. Also, so that's for obviously the critics, and then the audience score 83%, also very surprising.
IMDb 7.4 out of 10.
Yeah.
And Metacritic 66, whatever the fuck that means.
Okay. And we're
Google
still
users.
Google
users 91% like this.
Wow. So
fuck Google users.
One of the things that Matt and I had bounced the idea around was kind of discussing Joss Whedon's tenure, I guess, and like everything that he has.
His track record.
There you go. That's better than tenure. I was thinking like
yeah, he's at a university.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking like his tenure within the comic book movies. But yeah, his track record and kind of, you know, everything he's been involved in. And Matt brought up something that I think might lead us into that is the reason this did so well box office wise is just the Avengers. So that might tie into something. Who knows if we'll actually get into that with Joss Whedon, but definitely that is apparent with this movie. So Matt, take it away. Do you have any pros? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead.
Okay, really, I don't actually hate this movie necessarily. I don't have any anger towards it like I do like Iron Man 3, but it's just it looks good. There's my positive. I actually give it that. I was watching it, and I'm like, man, this is just crazy to me that these movies that were made in like 2012 and 13 and 2011 and even Iron Man 2008 and stuff. I mean, these movies look so much better than the most recent movies that we're getting compared to like Homecoming, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Justice League. I mean, these movies look, Ragnarok also look like shit. To me, these movies just look so much better. And I don't know why, but when the Sokovia is getting sucked up into space, I'm like, that's an epic scale of CGI and a mix of shit going on, and it looks phenomenal. It literally looks like I'm looking at Google Maps or something, and this fucking chunk of land is getting launched into space. So I give it that. The look of it was fantastic.
Yeah, that I absolutely agree. That's one of my pros. My big pros was the look of it, and even kind of. I mean, Joss Whedon doesn't have a very. I mean, one of our recent episodes talk about Zack Snyder's style. Joss Whedon doesn't really have a style. Like it just kind of blends with the rest of the MCU for the most part. But he does have a lot of iconic shots. You know, like he utilizes the panning of the Avengers, and one thing that you see over and over again, you know, with all of the all those bots kind of coming at him and it just panning through, and you know, Captain America doing his flips and throwing the shield. I thought that was badass. The opening sequence, man, how it pans from hero to hero, as you know, as they're kind of going through what is it, like the forest, and I don't even remember where they're at, but anyways.
I think it's on the outskirts of Sokovia, I think.
Okay, yeah. So, you know, as they're kind of running through there, shot incredibly well. Like, there's some really good shots in this movie, for sure. And I'll agree, the CGI, top notch. And there's some good action, definitely some good action shots in this as well. So I'd agree with you that that's probably one of my top pros.
It's scale shots. I mean, I think that's something that's lacking a lot. Is these scale shots, these shots of really getting the scale of what's going on, like what you're talking about with the forest in the beginning. Like, I mean, yeah, they're zoomed in, but you know, there is terrain. You can see a distance. You know, it doesn't look like they're on a small box with green screen, like a lot of these movies lately. Yeah. And that's one of my thing with Thor Ragnarok. It's just so fucking green screen. Justice League, same thing, so fucking green screen to an extent on certain parts. Same thing with Guardians of the Galaxy. The second one, just so green screen. This one, it's just a nice pan back, and you really get the scope of what the fuck is going on. And that's kind of what my issue was with also Civil War too. It's like, because they do that fucking zoomed in shaky cam so goddamn much. It's like I never felt scale in Civil War. I never felt. I mean, the airport scene kinda. But even then, it felt so close for such a vast area.
Right.
But this really gets that scale. And it's kind of like I don't want to say a lost art in these comic book movies lately, but something's changed.
Yeah, I agree with you. I would think Black Panther might be the one exception, and parts of Justice League. Not all of them. I definitely agree. Like it feels green screened to all the shit in a lot of parts. Maybe it's reshoots or something like that, but Black Panther would probably be the exception. There's a lot of scenes in that feel a little bit more grand scale. And on the topic of, you know, the close shaky cam combat, it's used very briefly in this. It is used in some aspects, but it also, I feel like they did a good job kind of backing up a hair as well. So you actually do get a little bit more of the action, a little bit more of the hand to hand combat, you know, and things like that.
Oh, that really hurt. I'm gonna have a lump there, you idiot. Who throws a shoe? Honestly.
Hand to hat.
Hand to hat.
Yeah. It kind of tying into that. I really liked the CGI and the graphics that they used with Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. Like the way that they shot it and everything, and how she's kind of like moves, especially when she's first introduced, when she, you know, moves next to the people and they don't really know she's there, and she's kind of like, fucking with their mind a little bit. I like that. I thought they did a pretty good job with that, and it, you feel eventually the characters don't get the best payoff in my opinion, but early in the film and as it kind of progresses, and even in the big fight scene at the end, I like the way that they incorporate some of their powers and everything.
I have one last positive. The one joke that I thought was actually pretty funny was when Banner, Mark Ruffalo, he's back to normal after the first lullaby. So she gives him a hand job and he goes back to normal. He calms down. That's what the symbolism is. You want to talk about Zack Snyder symbolism? Joss Whedon symbolism is this. She gives him a hand job and he goes back normal. He's not angry and testosterone filled anymore. So there we go. There's Joss Whedon. Yeah, Joss Whedon symbol. But he feels bad because he may have killed people or something like that, and he's hunched over, and Black Widow's trying to make him feel better. And she's like, Thor didn't do a great job, and Thor turns around, and he's like, yes, Hulk's victim screaming in agony, like, and like that actually made me laugh because he's like, they're screaming in agony because he's trying to make him. He's supposed to be making him feel better, but that actually did give me a good chuckle.
Thor, report on the Hulk.
The gates of hell are filled with the screams of his victims. But not the screams of the dead, of course. No. Wounded screams, mainly whimpering, great deal of complaining, and tales of sprained deltoids and gout.
I thought that was actually a kind of a funny one. Other than that, none of the jokes landed.
Yeah, there were a couple chuckle moments for me. I don't remember them off the top of my head, so obviously not super memorable. But yeah,
I wrote that down. That's how I remember.
Yeah, the humor overall, not that great. A couple of my other positives, they all kind of, almost all of them tie together. Hulk versus Hulkbuster, obviously pretty iconic scenes, looked great. I thought that
should be fair. Yeah,
that was pretty awesome. Again, that kind of ties into just the action scenes and things like that. I will also say that it's disappointing. You get less of a glimpse of Ultron at his best than you do for some of the other MCU characters that eventually get nerfed, or villains, I should say. But Ultron, when he's first introduced, before he gets the shitty teeth, his voice and some of his dialogue actually starts out pretty solid, where I'm like, man, why didn't they just stick with this? Why did he end up like, he tries to be quippy? That's fucking Joss Whedon to a T. And it bugged the shit out of me when he's first introduced, and he's like half built, and all the Avengers are standing in whatever that fucking place is with the bar and stuff. They when that first happens, the way that he carries himself, his voice, his dialogue, I thought was pretty solid, and that just, it makes you a little bit more disappointed to what he ended up like one scene later, and and then he's just garbage like immediately. So I know that sounds like a backhanded compliment. That is a pro of what Ultron could have been. And that there were some bright spots with Ultron, even when he's got the shitty teeth and he's making the quips and stuff. I do still feel like his voice I liked a lot, and some of the things that he's talking about. I thought the themes were kind of there, poorly executed, but they were there. There was glimmers of stuff.
All right, so I think we'll just kind of roll into the negatives now. A funny little story with this movie was, after Man of Steel, I was pretty much, that kind of solidified for me that critics really don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I mean, I kind of started with Dark Knight Rises and led into Man of Steel. And then this one, I remember hearing that, oh, it's great, but it's nowhere near as good as the first one. And I remember hearing that it was still good, but nowhere near the first one. And I kind of was like, oh, people always goddamn hating on the second one because it's never good as the original, blah, 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 same narrative we always hear. And I remember going into it and coming out like, motherfuckers, it's not good at all. Like, why are you even comparing it to the first one? It makes no sense. This story really makes no sense. I don't know what was supposed to happen. There's tons of articles out there how Joss Whedon had a complete meltdown from the pressure that Disney or Marvel Studios, Kevin Feige and them were all putting on him to incorporate all these different factors into it, and that he felt really, really hindered on this whole project. I'm not sure if that was Marvel Studios trying to fix it or making it worse. Who knows? With Joss Whedon, it's hard to tell. So I couldn't believe how incoherent this movie really is. And how it's a 75 is just beyond me. This should be right there near the bottom of the barrel almost with Iron Man 3 and fucking Thor Ragnarok. Well, I mean, everybody loves fucking Thor Ragnarok, but whatever. It's just so incoherent. It makes absolutely no sense. I am still dumbfounded at this point. I have hindsight. I have more knowledge than when I saw it. But I still have no idea how Ultron gets formed from the scepter, because technically there's supposed to be the soul stone in there. So why is there a AI in the scepter?
Yeah, no.
That's
clue.
what I thought. That's what I thought.
Good,
I
good
still
point.
don't to this day. I don't know. I was trying to figure it out, and I made up a story in my head. Whether it's right or wrong, I have no fucking clue. But I think what they were doing was that Hydra base was using an AI to try to decode the scepter, and somehow it was attached to the scepter. I think, I don't know. But then it's like, why does Hydra have this super advanced AI that's better than what Tony Stark could do? I mean, there's no way that they're smarter than Tony in this universe. Anyway, I don't know. I still don't know how they got an AI out of it. And then I don't know how the fucking Soul Stone just comes out of it, because that means Thanos had the Soul Stone. Thanos had the Soul Stone because they gave the scepter to Loki. And then so he just gives him a fucking Infinity Stone to go get another Infinity Stone in the first Avengers? Because he was going to get the Tesseract and then release the fucking world, or release the aliens on him and everything to conquer. I mean, that was kind of like the point, was him to bring back the Tesseract too.
Right.
It just made no sense. Everything just made no sense. Tony's reaction, the twins, like how did they use the Soul Stone to make Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch? Like, I got that impression that they somehow used that technology to make them. They were test subjects.
Yeah.
How?
Yeah. That I don't know either.
Well, you're not helping me out at all.
No.
Here, all right?
So my theory is I don't think that the Soul Stone is what created Ultron. That Ultron was created from Tony and Banner.
He's examining the staff. And he says,
well, he's trying to increase. You're talking about Ultron?
No. Tony, when he gets the staff, he's having to go through a bunch of analysis with Jarvis, and he brings up the 3D model of Jarvis, and he says, "Check this out," to Banner, and he brings up a 3D model of Ultron,
right?
And he's like, "It's thinking." So it's foreign to Tony. He found it like incorporated with the staff.
Okay, man, fuck, I must have missed that part completely, because I know
I slept through this. My other thing is, I slept through this movie 3 times.
Oh yeah,
I kept falling asleep, and I got more than you did. What the fuck, man?
No, I don't think you got more than I did. I just think
we'll see.
I like checked it off of like, okay, yeah, I guess that sort of works, and then just moved on from it. Like, because I didn't look at it that it was a Soul Stone that gave Ultron life. I looked at it is that's what Tony had created, and then he was showing it to, to Bruce Banner of like, hey, this is now what I've created, and I just need your help bringing it to the next level. And then that's kind of what they do together, not really with the Soul Stone. And the Soul Stone was going to be like the next ultimate level, which ends up getting used by Ultron to then try to create Vision, because Ultron wants the same thing, but obviously for a different reason. That's kind of how I looked at it. Not that like Hydra created Ultron or anything like that, but I mean, I could be fucking wrong too.
I don't know. I guess that makes more sense. I got the impression that somehow he found this AI incorporated into the staff, and that he was able to extract the AI from the staff. But what you're saying could make a little bit more sense. Anyway, we'll just move on from that stupidity.
Yeah. So one last thing, Ultron was an idea of Tony's. So like that was a starting point, is that Tony is what created that. It's something that him and Banner had like talked about and everything.
Yeah,
so
the fucking Armored Legion thing,
Right.
which is
Yeah,
fucking
exactly.
stupid because they blew up all of his suits in Iron Man 3, and now he just has an army of robots for no fucking reason.
Right.
It just drives me nuts how stupid Iron Man 3 rolls into this fucking movie. I swear it makes no fucking sense at all.
yes, I agree.
God damn it.
I'll just rattle off my cons. But the biggest thing is this is a very obviously very confusing but also basic movie. Like it's not very cohesive. It was pretty boring. It was very hard for me to stay engaged in this. You know, I did watch it in 2 separate parts just for time or constraints on, you know, on like life. Anyways, I watched it in 2 parts, but I was struggling to really watch this. And as Matt mentioned earlier, you have the benefit of hindsight of like everything that came before it and after it. We've reviewed a lot of these. So I was going in, I remember being very underwhelmed leaving it when we watched it when it first came out. Very underwhelmed. Then, you know, like this time I'm like, well, maybe I'll give it the benefit of the doubt and actually, other than Ultron, let me see what else does this movie provide. And other than surface level shit that we make fun of everyone else for, it doesn't provide really anything. There's a random ass relationship now between Natasha and Hulk that is awkward and feels forced randomly. Then there's horrible quips, Ultron cracking jokes. Nick Fury comes in with just a shit ton of plot convenience because he's communicating with someone else. And, you know, he just happens to know all this stuff. And then, of course, it's the butterfly. He's trying to evolve because there's a fucking finger painting. Just a whole lot of random shit. And then, of course, to top it off, Ultron shoots, what's her name, Cho, in the right shoulder instead of killing her so that she can still tell the Avengers everything that happened in his plan. So how fucking convenient is that? So it's just like, just to kind of summarize my cons, there it is. Like this, there was not much to this movie. I'm sure maybe the plot is a little more cohesive than Matt and I can obviously can fucking formulate of everything, but it just doesn't. The whole movie in itself doesn't flow very well. And it doesn't like really lay it out for you. So you'd have to watch this boring movie 30 times, as you know, we tell people to do with other movies, in order to really understand, like, okay, is this where it's coming from? So it's just, it was weird. Yeah, just not very well done.
Yeah, so to kind of summarize all my negatives here. 1, Ultron was probably the most human person out of all the characters. He experienced like levels fluctuating in humanity like every fucking second.
Right.
First he's trying to kill everybody, then he's saying to Scarlet Witch that I love you, or something like, don't make me do this. And it's like, what the fuck? This is supposed to be Ultron, all right? This is the equivalency to Brainiac. There is no emotions here, but because he came from like the being of Tony, it's like that's what they're using as an excuse. So that's why he's quippy, and that's why he's human. You know, he acts like a human and shit. It was, don't make it Ultron then. Make it something else, because this was just pointless. Yeah, the villain, he was only used for the fact that it could provide 100 fucking robots for them to fight at the end, just like they did with the Satari or whatever the hell it was in the first one.
Exactly.
The thing that was funny about the Nick Fury part, that fucking ex machina, I was like, listening to it, because I actually forgot that Nick Fury flies up there and shit and saves everybody.
Yeah, I did too.
And so I'm listening to Captain America, and they're talking about blowing up the island, and he's like, no loss of life and all this shit. And Natasha's like, well, you're not gonna get a better view than this. To say, kill this people and to save this many people, or to kill this many people to save all the people on Earth, it might be worth it. And Roger's just like, he's on it. No, we're not gonna give up, and we're not gonna let any loss of life and all this shit. And I was like, oh, see, this is what everybody's talking about with Captain America compared to Superman. He's an absolutist, he's not gonna give up, and he's always gonna be on the side of preserving life. Well, then guess what? The only reason why that even fucking works is because you have the dumbest ex machina in the world of fucking Nick Fury just flying up with a helicarrier out of nowhere.
Right.
See, that's what happens. That's what has to happen in order for his beliefs to coexist. Because guess what? If Nick Fury's not there, he's dead. He's fucking dead. So how far does his beliefs take him then? Yeah, he got his way. He got his cake and got to eat it too because Nick Fury ex-machina his way up there. So that's where the realism of that situation goes out the fucking window because Nick Fury saved the fucking day. Nick Fury was allowed Captain America to keep his morals, his ideals anyway, and it's so ridiculous. And that's what makes it stupid because it's just a pure movie cliche. It's one of the oldest cliches ever. And that's the only way. That's the only way. I was just like, well, yeah, okay. Well, fuck, if we did that in superhero movies, then yeah, of course you can be absolute like that. Of course you can follow those moralities. Yeah, it just blew me away. I was like, well, that's how it's done then.
Cap, these people are going nowhere. Stark finds a way to blow this rock.
Not till everyone's safe.
Everyone up here versus everyone down there. There's no math there.
I'm not leaving this rock with one civilian on it.
I didn't say we should leave. There's worse ways to go. Where else am I gonna get a view like this?
Glad you like the view, Romanoff. It's about to get better.
Oh, fuck off, you
Yeah, he can stay the way he is just because fucking helicarrier that he dusted off, as he called it, just happened to be able to get up there. Oh yeah, and that's the other thing. They were like so much 1,000 feet in the air, and just like eventually at like 20-something thousand feet, oh, I could feel the air getting thin. Motherfucker, you can feel air getting thin like at 6,000,
Right,
7,000 feet. All right, we live up on a fucking mountain. All right, we know about fucking thin air. All right, god damn. I was like, oh, you guys should be dead right now, especially Quicksilver. Fucking running all that time.
Oh.
He should be burned up, man. He shouldn't be able to breathe.
Yeah,
it was just the whole movie.
Don't even get me started on Quicksilver. Yeah.
Worst character in the MCU.
Great action stuff until they just randomly fucking. Oh, now his powers don't work. He was like running out of breath and stuff. I don't know. I didn't want to segue too far off of your Captain America stuff because holy shit, that was a mic drop right there. Like, we just might as well end the fucking episode.
All right. In case I don't see you.
Absolutely right. Like, holy fuck, to a T. I did not even think of that. I had the thought had crossed my mind that, oh yeah, this is what people want to see from Superman, black and white. Nope, this is, like you said, the absolute, that we have to save all these people. But yeah, if Nick Fury doesn't show up, then that whole fucking thing goes out the window. Then what do? You're
real quick.
Right on the backs of all these robots? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey-ho, Silver, away!
Real quick,
So,
I have an interrupting text from my girlfriend. It's 12,000 feet when air would apparently be getting thin. I don't know.
Oh,
So,
okay. Fair enough.
Still, even when you know, fucking UFC fighters have problems at Mexico City, which is like 8,000 feet up, and they gasp for air. So, anyway, just a small disclaimer.
Nice. Well, that's good. Oxygen is lacking for us in our brains on a normal basis, so hard for us to tell.
Especially now because this was supposed to be a 10-minute podcast.
Right. Yes. So what are we doing with our life? All right, let's score it. Well said. We'll end it on your Captain America stuff.
All right. Well, we'll just quick summary. Movie's terrible. It literally makes no sense. Also, watching the end of the movie made me think like, holy shit, this phase 3 was supposed to, I think, go a completely different direction. But because of how Joss Whedon just collapsed under the pressure and everything, I think they changed their mind. Because you could tell Thor Ragnarok was supposed to be way different. You can tell other aspects. Like, I don't think they ever planned for Robert Downey Jr. to come back because he seems to get a nice little pretty send-off. And Captain America looks at his new team with Falcon, who just shows up at the end that wasn't in the whole movie at all. Rhodey is just there. Who else? Vision and Scarlet Witch. That's the new team. And that's supposed to be the new team. And fuck. Tony's long gone.
I feel like Tony's gotten a couple send-offs now. Iron Man 3, you're like, okay, yep, this is it. His contract's ending. Like, he's done. He just blew up everything and, all that stuff. Oh, no, he's going to come back for this one. Okay. And then he's got another pretty good send-off. Oh, no, he's going to come back again. So it's fucking random.
So my score for this one is 2 out of 5.
2 out of 5. Wow. All right. So as Matt said, just a quick summary. I don't hate this movie. you know, like a Thor Ragnarok or a Doctor Strange, ones that just kind of anger you. It's just there that it's I guess decent to watch, like, you know, just to have on. Like, there's cool action stuff, decent music, I guess, but that's about it. The story is pretty boring, also very incohesive. I feel like I look for details in movies, and I enjoy extra layers, and this one, I was like digging and fucking you know, hit a sewage pipe. like that was pretty much it. So I'm a little bit more generous. I gave this a 2.8 out of 5 marks. But
oh, wow.
Yeah, just it's bland. That's all I can say.
I feel like there's a meme there of you like Xerxes, I'm a generous god, and just grabbing Age of Ultron.
Right, yeah. With the score.
Anyway.
Yeah.
2.8. Anyway, I don't know. It's boring. I literally did trying to rewatch this movie. I fell asleep through it 3 times. Like, I just could not stay awake. Yeah, I worked a lot of hours this week, but I should be able to stay up during a fucking movie, an action movie like that.
Right.
And maybe I did miss some shit by falling asleep. You could say that. I don't give a shit. It still sucks. So,
yeah, because you fell asleep multiple times.
If I can't even stay awake through the fucking... I stayed awake through fucking Iron Man 3 barely, but I did. So yeah. At least, like Shane said, I don't necessarily hate this movie. It's just so incoherent and boring.
Yeah.
And it's just like, why is the robot smiling and doing quips? Oh, okay. So
yeah,
he's tied in with Tony Stark. Oh, all right.
Cool. Yeah.
Why is Thor getting in water and electrocuting himself? Okay.
For a cool shot. Yeah. I forgot about that. I didn't even note that down, but yeah, it's just when it's a chore to watch a movie, then that's a problem, you know, and like we said, not like no super hate towards it, but I don't know, you know, leave a comment, let us know what you think, what you would rate Age of Ultron. You know, maybe we're fucking couple Debbie Downers, I guess. I don't know. But it was definitely a chore to watch this to make it through.
We'll see what happens with Ant-Man now. Ant-Man's it, and then we rank the top 8. We rank the 18 MCU movies going into Age of Ultron.
Oh, yeah.
Or whatever this is. Infinity War.
Oh, yeah. Infinity War. Going into Age of Ultron. And I didn't even correct you. I was like, yeah, sounds good.
Because you could tell we're pumped. Right. We're going to see it after everybody else sees it. All right, man. Okay, so I don't see...
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
What the fuck just happened?
Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. You're one of very few to make it to the end.
Yes, thank you very much.
Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to Comic Movie Marks Podcast and hit the notification bell. You know, all these fucking YouTube channels say this shit, so I'm going to say it now.
Yes, it's perfect. And if you want to hear our full podcast, you can check out our podcast on iTunes or any other podcast subscription service.
Make sure you subscribe. Thanks again.